Live right now. What's on Christ? Live on TikTok. I'm about to go live right now. Maybe live on TikTok. Good to go. So on this road, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ralatham, Yahweh Shem Ralatham Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, priest and officer of 1,000 Malakia, holding the class down until Mahayaman gets here. You understand? If anybody got any questions, any comments, feel free to type your questions into the chat. We're gonna answer them all. We're gonna answer them all when General Mahayaman gets here. We just making sure that everything's good to go. Bear with us for 1 second. Type a 1 in the chat if you can see in here. If you can't see in here, type a 2 in the chat. Type a 2 in the chat. What control? Which is to go. Ibach, can you give me Matthew chapter 7, verse 12? Got 3 1. You should be good to go then. 4 1s. Matthew 7 and 12. Let me catch up with you. Yep, Matthew 7 and 12. In this class, at least this portion of the class, until General Mahayaman gets here, is about making your path more narrow. You understand? Making your path more narrow, watching your step, being more careful as to what you're doing. Because when we come into the truth, we are no longer a representation of ourselves. You understand? We now represent the Most High Christ. We now represent the I.S.U.P.K and commanding General Yahanna. Understand? Whatever we was in the world, you know, our popularity, our status, you know, it doesn't mean anything. Now we're taking on to ourselves the reputation of the I.S.U.P.K, the reputation of the reputation of the Most High in Christ. So with that being in mind, you have to watch how you move. You gotta watch the things that you do. You gotta watch the things that you allow yourself to do. You understand? You gotta watch all these things and keep in mind that you no longer living for yourself. You no longer living to do what you want to do. You no longer living to do whatever it is that comes into your mind. You living with a purpose now, and that purpose is to serve the Most High. You understand? To serve Christ. You understand me? So, give me Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, Baba Shaw.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. Mm-hmm. For this is the law and the prophets.
It says, therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do even so to them. Which is saying, you know, do to others what you would want done to yourself. You understand? It say this is the law and the prophets. What law is it referring to? It's referring to when Christ was talking about, you know, how can you claim that you love God, which you have never seen before, but you hate your brother and you see him every single day? You understand? That's the law. So like that's the law that is referring to, and that's pretty much twofold. You know, in one sense, of course, it's saying, you know, you wouldn't want, of course, someone to sleep with your wife. So you shouldn't sleep with someone else's. You know, that having a good conscience is underrated, and a lot of people don't have that because of what they do. You know, that's why a lot of brothers, they can't fully commit to a relationship. You understand? They have trouble trying to commit to a relationship because they know that when they were single, they were sleeping with other brothers' wives. And they knew that the woman they were sleeping with had a husband. They knew that. So now when they get into a relationship for themselves, they already know, like, man, I know how women act in a relationship. Just because we got this title, it don't mean nothing. You understand? But in their mind, they know that just because she's my girlfriend or my wife, another man not going to value that because I didn't value that. You understand? They already got that mindset when they, go into their relationship. They don't got a clear conscience because of the things that they did. They didn't love their brother as they loved themselves. They didn't go and, have shalom on Christ. They didn't have respect for their brother's relationship, for their brother's marriage. Don Q said it in a freestyle. He said, I slept with other brothers' women. How can I trust mine? Because they already know the lifestyle that they live. You understand? That clear conscience is far from them. So when, like I said, that one sense, love your brother as you love yourself. Don't do something to another brother that you wouldn't want them to do to you. And in a different sense, just as you wouldn't want your son or your sister or your friend to fall victim to their own lust, could be gambling, could be a problem with promiscuous women, it could be gossiping. You would teach them not to do it. You would give them all the breakdowns. You would give them all the encouragement that they need to win that battle. You should love yourself enough to do all that for yourself as well. We know what we have to improve on. We know that straight up and down. We know that we got to make our election sure. And with that, we've been in enough classes. We've watched enough classes. We've been told by our husband. We've been told by our camp leader what exactly our job is, what we should be doing. We know, what we shouldn't be doing either. But and we know where we lack discipline at, or lacked in the past tense, where we lacked discipline at. Because once you beat that demon, you're gonna have to continue to fight it off. We know what we got to do. You understand? We got to continue to fight it off, or else we'll start to backslide. We'll start to get right back into that sin. Sometimes we don't love ourselves enough to, treat ourselves how we would as our brothers. Like I say, love yourself as you love your brothers. You don't want them to fall victim to their own lust. You'll give them what they need, teach them what they need, but you won't have that same self-talk towards yourself. You understand? The Bible calls that being a hypocrite. You understand? That's what the Bible calls it. It calls it being a hypocrite. Read the next verse. It says, so like I say, for this is the law and the prophets. This what the law is. That's how the prophets are supposed to carry themselves. You understand? Loving your brother as you love yourself. Or like I was saying in verse 12, therefore all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. You understand? Read verse 13.
This is from Matthew 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
It says, enter ye into the straight gate. You understand? Real quick, just to look up the definition of that word straight. It's S-T-R-A-I-T, not the straight as in straight path. S-T-R-A-I-T. Just look up the definition real quick, Barbara Shaw. I got it. Definition 1 of straight, a comparatively narrow passageway. Definition 2, it's a situation of perplexity or distress. You understand? So when it's saying enter into that straight way, the Bible says when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. You understand? It's saying enter into that path that will bring you distress. And why would it bring you distress? Because we so used to having all this wiggle room moving through life, all this space to do as you please. You understand? The Bible says don't enter into that path. America will give you that space. It'll give you all the space and all the room and all the resources to do whatever it is you please. As a woman, you want to leave your man, America give you the option to file for divorce. 70% of divorces comes from, a woman filing for it. And when you talk about college educated women, that number goes up to 90%. America give you that space. They give you that wiggle room. You understand? You want to sell drugs and rob people because it's fast money and it's more convenient than working a 9 to 5. Who do you think ship over all these shipments of drugs? Who you think give you the resources to sell drugs? How you think the drugs get into our community by our oppressor? How you think these weapons get into our community? It's by our oppressor. You understand? They give you the wiggle room to do it. You know, it says that. So I guess it says that America is the cage of every unclean bird. Anything you want to do, America will give you the resources to do it. You understand? But all that space and all that wiggle room will lead to what? I bought.
Destruction.
Read it from the top.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, 7 verse 13. 7 verse 13. Chapter 7 verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
You understand? In the Apocrypha, they talk about a city, a glorious city, being in the distance. And the only path to get to it is a narrow path. And on the left side is fire, on the right side is high water. You understand? They saying this is a path to get to this city, talking about the kingdom of heaven. Right here in the book of Matthew is giving you a different perspective of it. It say, enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, so like and broad is the way that lead to destruction. You understand? You know what happens as a woman when you use that wiggle room that America give you to file for divorce. You end up never remarrying again. You understand? You end up never remarrying because you was unhappy and you had the wiggle room, you had the space to file for divorce. Now you'll be unhappy for the rest of your life. Jumping from relationship to relationship, just being single and lonely because you wanted to use that broadness and that wide open space that America gives you. When brothers wanted to use that wiggle room and that space that America gives us to sell drugs and to rob people because it's easier than looking for a job, what happens? You get thrown in jail. You understand? You get thrown in jail, you come out with a felony. You think it was hard to find a job before. You understand? Imagine trying to find a job with a felony. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life working at Chick-fil-A. You're going to spend the rest of your life being a janitor, trying to find a job for somebody to hire you when you got a felony on your record. You understand? That's what happens. It gets even harder when you try to take that broad path because it's more appealing. You understand? It's way more appealing. And like I said, the topic for today's class is making your path more narrow. That narrow path, that path that leads to distress, you understand, when you don't got a lot of wiggle room, that's the path that the Most High wants you to take. Give me Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 19, Brother Shaw. You can continue to read this.
And many there be which go in thereat.
And many which be that go in thereat. You understand? This is the path that everybody wants to take because it's so convenient. That's what America wants to promote, a place of rest. You understand? A place that's just comfortable. The Bible says this is not our rest. But America wants us to think that it's just so glorious, it's so happy, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You understand? It's so appealing. The American dream is work hard and one day you have enough money to retire. You understand? You'll be able to do whatever it is you want to do. You want to be LGBTQ, they got a whole entire organization for it. You understand? You want to go against your husband. You want to sleep with other brothers' wives. America promotes it so much in these songs, in these movies, in these shows. It make it seem like it's a place that's just glorious, a place to behold. Like when the disciples came into that city and they asked Christ, hey, you see all these buildings, all these tall, beautiful buildings, all these tall, beautiful structures. You understand? Christ said what? Ain't not one stone gonna be left upon another. Even though this place looks beautiful, even though the ways that America gives us look so appealing, it will lead to destruction because that's what this country is leading to. Understand? Everybody getting ready for that third world war. Everybody getting ready for it. All these countries and all these different nationalities and all these armies is getting ready for that war. They're getting ready for that destruction. And that's what's going to come. The Bible says, come ye out of her, that you don't receive none of her plagues. We still recovering from COVID-19. Imagine the next thing the Lord sends on this place. Like I said, a good conscience is something that's underrated. You want to have a clear conscience coming into these last days, man. You want to make sure that your election is sure. You don't want to have no doubt in your heart. It's all fun and games leading up to the situation until the Most High comes through, and the Most High start to appear, and He start to wreak havoc on your life. Now everybody want to pray and fast and be in mourning. You understand? That's when everybody want to pray. You understand? Because they in that path that leads to destruction. You understand me? Read on, Ibad.
Okay. Verse 14. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way.
It say that many is in the broad gate, because straight is the way and narrow is the way. You understand? That narrow path is something that a lot of people don't want to be in. They don't want to be in that path where you got to watch your step. They don't want to be in that path or that lifestyle where you can't do whatever it is you want to do. So they're going to choose that path that allows them to do whatever it is they want to do. Allow them to have all this wiggle room. Read on.
Which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
It says, and few there be that find it. Not only is everybody, not only is this path difficult, Shalom on Christ, dang, he brought a whole feast. Not only is this path narrow, is it going to cause you distress because you can't move how you used to moving, but there's few people that even find it. You understand? And even fewer people that complete that walk. You understand? Like how Captain Howard said, one was to the death. It's not just a song, that's a lifestyle. And you got to live this lifestyle until you die. It's few people that even find this path, and there's fewer that walk it because it's so narrow. Everybody want to be in that broad path, man. You understand? Everybody want to be in that broad path. When you come into the truth, you gotta really stop trying to find loopholes. That's what being in the truth is about. Stop trying to find loopholes. Stop trying to find wiggle room to do whatever it is you want to do. In your marriage, you'll say, "Oh well, this person not doing this, so I'm crazy." Say, "Oh, this person not doing this, or this person is doing this, so I'm gonna do that. I'm not going to do this and that and the third." What you're really doing is trying to find a loophole, some wiggle room to do what it is that you wanted to do since you stopped doing it when you came into this truth. You just trying to find an excuse to do what it is you wanted to do. Like I said, you got to make your path more narrow. Our motto is no excuses. Stop trying to give yourself an excuse to do what you want to do what you used to do in the world. Got to make that path more narrow. Take that narrow path. Get off that broad gate. You understand? Get up out of there because it's going to lead you to destruction. It looks good. It looks fun and nice and well, but it's going to lead to destruction. You understand? Read what you got, Jeremiah 2:19.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 19. Thine own wickedness shall correct thee.
Read it again.
Thine own wickedness shall correct thee.
Before we go short, let me catch up with you real quick. If anybody got any questions, any comments, type them into the chat. We'll get with them once General MAHAYAMAN gets here. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 19. It says, thine own wickedness shall correct thee. You understand when, when you do something and have to face the consequences, that is going to correct you. The consequences is what's going to correct you. As a child, when you don't listen, you get bad grades in school. That's all fun and games until you got to reap what you sow. The consequences from your wickedness, that's what's going to correct you as you grow older. You understand? As you become an adult, that's what's going to correct you. The consequences. Read on.
And thy backslidings shall reprove thee.
Thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Why do anybody know why it's called backsliding? I'll just pose that question. Anybody online can answer it. Anybody in the class can answer it. Why is it called backslide? Get the people on a second. Go ahead and come out.
Going back on your word.
Going back on your word. Give me some more. How did you go back on your word? Go ahead.
Abide.
Yeah, what's the process of going back on your word? Somebody online can answer the question. Gonna give them some time. It's called backsliding. The answer is in the name. Go ahead.
Is it like as you moving backwards instead of moving forward?
Because you're moving backwards, right? I take what y'all both saying. You moving backwards, you understand? You're not moving forward. It's about the process of how you're moving backwards. It's not just you completely jumping back into the sin. It's you sliding slowly back into that sin. That's why it's called backsliding. It's not like you just take a big leap right back into it. You understand? Satan, his best attribute is how subtle he can be. You understand? He'll be real subtle with you as far as you going back into that sin. The Bible says once you rid yourself of this demon, it's going to leave you, but after a while, it's going to come back. It's not just going to make you jump right back into it. It's going to ease you slowly back into it. That's why they call it backsliding. Go ahead, Nakar.
If I could, like, a lot of us brought on anger and wrath. You come here, you get counseling, you get correction, you get, the lessons on in training, maintaining discipline. Then, Satan some way, somehow gonna try to work his way in back, to get you to be back that old man. That's what you want to fight.
Yeah, Satan is going to try to bring you back into it slowly. That's why, like how Nakar said, you got to work on eliminating these triggers. You understand? If you got anger issues, get some counsel to help you have more discipline, have more patience. You understand? That's a trigger for most people. You just lack the patience. You got to learn to understand people and how they maneuver. They're not going to move how you want them to move. It's like having kids. A lot of people get upset with their kids because they tell their kids to do something and they don't do it right away. They kids. They mind going a million miles a minute. You understand? They not just going to stop what they're doing and go put their jacket on. They got to go look in the mirror. They got to go get some sunglasses. You understand? They're going to have to do a lot of different things. They're not going to do it immediately. You learn that patience. You learn that discipline. You'll be able to eliminate those triggers that's going to lead you back into that sin of being angry and sinning. You understand? And committing that sin. You got issues with gambling. Like I said, the way to make your path more narrow is eliminating those triggers, the things that's leading you back into that sin. You got issues with gambling. Why the hell is you on FanDuel? Why you even got the app? You understand? If you got problems with gambling, just stop watching sports for a little while. Stop following sports for a little while, because in your mind, it's just clicking. John Morant dropped 30 points. You understand? LeBron James going to get 5 steals, 5 blocks. If you watching them constantly, if you start watching it, you eliminating those triggers, it's going to not lead you back into that sin. You understand? Just by eliminating those triggers. You got a problem lusting over women, eliminate the triggers by getting off of social media, not watching those IG models. You understand? Practice sobriety. Don't be quick to get drunk to the point where you just call up. You gonna call up everybody in your phone, all your old flame. Somebody gonna answer for you. Somebody gonna answer for you. You understand? Practice not being so drunk. Try practice that first. Try practice, taking yourself out of the situation that's going to lead you back into that sin. Eliminate those triggers. You got a problem gossiping. Stop entertaining the conversations from your friends and your mom. Tell them you'll call them back. You understand? Because one thing about a gossiper is that they're going to tell somebody else. You understand? They can't wait to do it. They can't, but just, no, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna call you right back. They ain't gonna wait for you. They gonna pick up the phone, call somebody else, and start gossiping their ear off. You understand me? Gossiping their ear off. Just let them put that demon on somebody else, or try to stop that demon right in their tracks. Of course, at the risk of an argument. But you gotta eliminate those triggers, and you'll be able to make your path more narrow. You'll be able to get away from the sin that you're doing, and you won't be so open to the backsliding. Understand? You won't be so open to the environment that will lead you back into sin. That's why America is so popular, because they just create the perfect environment for you to sin. The perfect environment. It say in the book of Genesis, all the way back in the book of Genesis, in the beginning, they say that sin is readily available. It's at your doorstep. You go outside, it's right there. It's everywhere. You don't even gotta go outside. You got a smartphone. It's right there. It's one phone call away. Whatever it is you want to do, is one phone call away, one swipe or one click away. You understand? America makes the perfect environment for us to go against God, and they make it look so appealing, man. Make it look so appealing. They don't say pork and shrimp is unlawful. They say it's a delicacy. They say it's the other white meat. You understand? They make it look good, especially like we know inside the Bible, when we was in captivity, they was asking us. I think they asked King David, like, sing us one of those famous songs of Zion. King David said, "How can I sing a song of the Lord in captivity?" They know our musical talent, and they put the sin right in the music. The brother is so lyrical, or with a beat so fire, they make it sound good to have sex with your brother's wife. They make it sound good to, talk about all of your private parts and make it public. It's called a private part for a reason. They on a song that's just all public for the whole world to hear. They make that stuff sound so good and so well put together. It's poetry in motion, man. America makes this sound good, and that's what they want to hear from our people, so that we all can think the same way, so that we all can just have the perfect mindset to go against God, man. They make the LGBTQ sounds amazing. They all the rainbows. That's for the kids. A kid love colors and rainbows. When they working on their fine motor skills, and as a baby, they want to see colors, bright lights. Ever since you from a kid, you want to see all these colors. And what the LGBTQ do? They put a rainbow as their flag. You understand? They go and make it seem like, oh, they got rights and they're so strong, but they don't tell you about the other side of that. They don't tell you about how they got to be LGBTQ. They don't tell you about all of the abuse that they had to suffer, and that this is just a coping mechanism, or all of the domestic disputes they got in their own homes. America make this stuff seem so appealing, selling drugs. What? You can make $1,000 just by handing somebody something? What? America make it look so good. You got a problem with somebody, don't have the discipline and the patience to talk it out. You understand? Don't have the maturity to be the bigger man when you would just shoot them. It make it just sound so appealing, man. America gives, like I said, they give you the perfect environment to go against the Most High. If you want to make your path more narrow, you got to eliminate those triggers. You got to get yourself out of that equation. Get yourself out of that environment that's going to allow you to continue to do the thing that you know you should not be doing. You understand? Whatever the case is, I know everybody watching this know clearly something that they was told not to do, but they struggle with it. When the Bible say make your election sure, it's not, thanks to the I.S.U.P.K. and Commanding General Yohanna, we know exactly what we need to do to make our election sure.
Get it on all the way on. Taking questions in the room and online. Do we have any yet? Let's go.
This is
No, but you ain't do it for you. No, sir. Go ahead,
this is from One West Maccabiah, Sloppy, sir. When the scripture says the Lord makes the clouds his chariots, the pillar of a cloud, are the chariots actually in the clouds, or does he morph the chariots to look like clouds close?
He morphed to answer your question, he morphs the chariots to be like clouds. The clouds you see in the sky every day are just clouds, all right? Just the scientific explanation for clouds are what they are. But on Judgment Day is going to begin with clouds, and the chariot will be in the cloud. If you've seen certain movies like Independence Day or some of your random science fiction movies, they read that depiction of the Bible and they put it in the movie. So imagine Judgment Day, giant clouds in the sky. All of a sudden, these clouds begin to roll and roll and roll, and the chariot of God comes out of that cloud. So to your question, they morph into the clouds, all right? Next.
This is from UPK, Yakawam.
All right, Yakawam, you got it.
Slakiyawan. Could I get a breakdown on Judges chapter 4, verses 4 through 5?
No problem. Let's go.
Specifically, why and what was Deborah judging?
Why and what was Deborah judging? Before I do that, let me make this announcement. Warrior want to make January 27th. ISUPK Baltimore will be having a food and clothing drive. Clap it up for ISUPK Baltimore. January 27th, Baltimore. Food and clothing drive. ISUPK DC, Virginia and Delaware and Philly and Trenton will be joining Baltimore in this event. Give all of those schools a hand. The location will be Penn and North in Baltimore, Maryland. Penn and North in Baltimore, Maryland, all right? So go ahead and get your situation together. What question you wanted to ask me?
It's in Judges chapter 4 and verse 4, sir. This book, Judges chapter 4 and verse 4. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidot, she judged Israel at that time.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 5. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah.
I got you. So, okay, what you wanted to understand, Deborah, right? That's a Hebrew name, Deborah, or in the English translation, Deborah, right? What you want to understand is that a woman is not allowed to teach men. That's in the Bible, all right? And just know that there is no contradiction to the Most High God. When he believes in the past, he believes in the present, and he will believe in the future. A woman is not allowed to usurp the authority of a man. A woman is absolutely allowed to teach children. Why? Because of the book of Titus, where the Most High God told women to teach the younger women to be keepers of their own homes, to be charitable and kind, right? So women can teach other women, okay? A woman absolutely can be a mother to anyone. A woman can be a mother. There are mothers in this school today. There were mothers in the school under Jesus Christ in the past. Deborah judged Israel as a mother judges children. It was during a terrible time in the nation of Israel. And this woman stepped up to be the one thing that she could be. And that thing was a mother. And because of that, Deborah is remembered to this day because she was a mother unto the nation of Israel. To understand how a mother judges, some of you have never had a good mother. That's a curse that happens here and has always happened under the authority of our adversary, the oppressor. But imagine a good mother, or imagine your mother if she was a good mother or is a good mother. You and your brothers are fighting, arguing over the video game or food, and she makes you two sit down and get along. She makes you work together. She makes you learn. She makes you go to school. She solves your disputes as a mother could solve your disputes. A mother's job is different than a father's job. It's a completely different job. Both of them are judges, but a mother is not a judge the way your father is a judge. And I believe everyone will understand. I'll give you a few precepts. Let me give you a mother. Let me give you a judge. Give me the sister in the Bible who saw Christ when he was young. And when Christ came in to get his circumcision with his family, there was a woman who came and saw Christ as a baby. And she said something to him that was a prophecy. You can give me that precept. I believe her name was Anna. That's in the New Testament, all right? That would be a perfect precept to how a mother judges. A woman, a woman can be a preacher and a priestess and a goddess and a queen outside of the UPK. You can do any evil thing that the preacher over that church wants you to do to gain more money from the stupid women in that church. But if you want to be a woman of God, you cannot usurp authority over a man. You cannot teach. But you absolutely can be a mother. And this nation needs more of them. You understand? Go ahead. You have what I need. Go ahead.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 2, and verse 36. And Anna, and there was one Anna, a prophetess.
A what?
A prophetess.
Anna was a prophetess, right? Meaning what? That the Most High God spoke to Anna. And Anna did just as Deborah did in the Old Testament. When Deborah received a prophecy from God, she went to the man that was in charge of the armies of Israel. She didn't go set up a church. She didn't set up a website or a Facebook page or Instagram page so people could send her money for her stupid prophecies that never come to pass, ever. She didn't do that. She wasn't some big mouth gossiper like she wasn't like her. She got a prophecy from God. She followed rank order and went to a man, because that's what the Bible says, that the man is the head of every woman. So she went and gave that prophecy to the head of the nation of Israel. The head of the nation of Israel listened to that prophecy, and he decided that it was truly a prophecy from God, and he acted on it, and it happened. I just gave you a synopsis of the story of Deborah in the Bible, all right? Now here's another sister whose name was Anna. Tell me about Anna. Go ahead.
And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher.
This sister was an Asherite, like a Colombian. All right, she was an Asherite or someone from Venezuela. Continue.
She was of a great age.
This was an old woman. Old woman. Go ahead.
And had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity.
Pause 1 second. Think about that when you want to be a prophetess, right? Women respect you because you have so much experience about men, don't they? You women love for a woman to teach you something because she knows men. She knows about every penis size, the type of penis that's good, the type of penis that's bad, this type of man that should be doing this, where these men should be taking you, where she's been. This woman has so much experience because she's a whore. So because of that, she can educate girls on the different many types of penises that are out there and what type of penis they should experience and what restaurants are good and what she should do. Her experience is why you should not listen to her. That's the reason you should ignore everything she's saying, because of her experience, right? Really, she's just a woman who has accumulated a lot of pain from making bad decisions, and now she's trying to let you do the same accumulation. Oh, this wasn't this kind of sister. This woman did what? She was a widow. So read that again.
She was of a great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. 7 years from being a young girl. She was with the same man. Then her husband died. And after he died, she served God and nothing else. Think about that when you go to your prophetess in your church. How many husbands has Juanita Bynum had? Now she's single, working on a fresh new victim, and he's going to be her ex. That's all you're ever going to meet. A dumb bitch is only going to meet future exes. That's it. You're meeting your future ex. When you're dating, you're meeting your future ex. When you're talking to them and Instagramming them and sending them nasty pictures, you're talking to your future ex. That's what your preachers are doing, right? This woman here, after her husband died, she devoted herself to her people, to the service of God and nothing else. This is a real prophetess. This is the real one. Keep going. Verse 37. And she was a widow of about 4 years.
What does that mean? 4 years. That's plenty old. 84, Tawada Benjamin. Now you talk like that. I don't know. That's how you talk. 4 score. I'm fine. How old it is again? 84 years old. You meet an 84-year-old woman today, she's still hunting a man. You know what I'm talking about, right? You see older. What's the oldest woman that you saw out there still trying to meet a man and get a man? How old? Say again? 80 years old. Go ahead, sis. How old is she? That's rough, man. I encounter them all the time, and I go, damn, this woman is 70, 80, and still like, I need to meet somebody. You're about to die. Meet somebody. You need insurance. You need life insurance. You need someone that'll take care of your final expenses. Imagine being 80 and you're still out there hitting the dating scene. That's a rough thing, man. I don't want that for you. That is not something that I want for you. Jesus, Nakar.
If I could, sir, that's where it's headed to.
It's headed. It's there already. It's there right now. This is not something that's going to happen. This is all over the place. Some 70-year-old woman. Yeah, you know, I need to meet a man that's like this. You need anybody that will lower your coffin into the ground, that is strong enough to take care of your final expenses and put you in the ground when the Lord calls. You're still dating? You're still looking for a man. Anyway, this woman, when her husband died, she devoted herself to the Most High God. She was a real mother. I met a few women like this. Commander General GEN.YAHANNA, I used to know his mom, and she was like this. She was exactly like this. This was her. Devoted herself to those children after she lost her husband for the rest of her life. Well, if you want people to respect you and look up to you, you could get it. You could get it. You have to do more than run your stupid mouth, though. Keep going. Which did what?
Which departed not from the temple.
Well, this doesn't sound like Juanita Bynum, no. She did not leave the temple. Stayed there. Never left. Continue.
But served God with fastings and prayers.
With what?
But served God with fastings and prayers.
With giving herself over to every lust, every ham sandwich and bacon sandwich and shrimp and crab fest and sex out of both legs, anything she wants. That's not a woman of God. That's not how it works, baby girl, all right? You're not like Deborah and you're not like Anna. Keep going.
But serve God with fastings and prayers night and day.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 38. And she coming in the instant gave thanks likewise unto the Lord.
She came in the instant when Joseph, his wife, and his child came into the temple on the 8th day of his birth to be circumcised, as the Lord said. And she was there. She gave them a prophecy about that child, and it happened. Who she give that prophecy to? She stood in the middle of the town square and yelled it. Did she go stand on a pulpit of wood and go outside and yell it to the people? No. She told it to the man that was in charge, and that was Joseph. She told it to him because she understood what a real woman of God does. Reports to a man. You got to read that on your own. All right, next. Go ahead, warrior.
Like, why do people in the world assume that Christ died at age 33?
Because people say he did. That's all anybody is doing now. Anybody is going to listen to some dummy, some preacher that says that. That's it. That's the answer. All right, next.
So, we got a question from Black Knight.
All right, Black Knight, let's hear it.
Can I get a breakdown on Matthew chapter 3, verses 13 through 17? Why did Christ want to get baptized by John? And I need a breakdown on the dove in the lightning in verse 16.
No problem, Black Knight. I'll explain it to you. Let me give it to you in a nutshell, okay, because of my time. The reason that Christ knew it was absolutely necessary to get baptized by John the Baptist is so that all of John the Baptist's followers would stop following John the Baptist and start following him. And that's in the Bible. I'm virtually quoting what he said, all right? That's why he had to do it. You can go through the story, but you better go fast. Give me the story about John the Baptist and why he did what he did, all right? That's why. Because the entire city of Jerusalem came out to John the Baptist to be baptized in that water. And you know, John the Baptist and Christ knew each other. They were cousins on their mother's side. They knew each other well. But John the Baptist had a giant movement that was so popular, and everyone loved him. And John the Baptist's movement was something like every movement. Eventually, it was going to stop moving and come to nothing. And that's so many popular movements among black people and Hispanics to this day. They start off big. Marcus Garvey. Oh my God, that was 3 million people. 3 million people. The Million Man March. The March on Washington. There's so many Christian and black and Hispanic movements that you think are going to change the world, don't you? Well, they all come to nothing. Jesus Christ went out there to let everyone who follows John know, follow me and don't follow John anymore. Follow me. That's why he went. I'll give you a little bit to explain, but what I'm saying is written in the Bible, all right? Next. I mean, you can read a little bit for the brother.
Our God, this book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 13. Then came Jesus from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. Verse 14. But John forbade him. Saying,
John did what?
Forbade him.
John forbid him, meaning John said, no, I do not let me baptize you. No, I will not baptize you. That's what John said. Go ahead.
Saying, I have need to be baptized of thee.
What did John say?
I have need to be baptized of thee.
You should be baptizing me. I shouldn't be baptizing you. Why does the Baptist religion still exist today? It's a belief that should have been gone 2,000 years ago. John said it. You should be baptizing me. Continue.
And comest thou to me?
But yet you're coming to me. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And Jesus answered said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness.
Suffer it to be done now, meaning just let me do this. I understand what you're saying. But it's up to us to fulfill all righteousness, to accomplish all righteousness. And I'm here to accomplish something righteous today. I'm here to take your members, to take your flock, to take your followers. That's why I'm here today. I have to fulfill this because it's right. Now, if you need more proof, you're going to skip up to when John said, "What I baptize with water, but one cometh after me that shall baptize with the Holy Spirit." Meaning, stop baptizing with water if you follow Christ. John baptized with water, but he shall baptize with the Holy Spirit. Yet still, you Christians and fake Israelites are dunking yourselves in water, still following John the Baptist, when even John the Baptist didn't want you to follow him. Everyone understands. I believe I broke that down for you. That's all the Black Knight needs right there. All right, next.
Our God, Trooper in the GEN.YAHANNA said, can I get a breakdown on Mark chapter 9 verse 43?
No problem, Trooper. Go ahead.
Christians try and say this is hell in the Bible.
All right. See me one more time, please, warrior. There's some of the brother eating. Do me a favor in the car. You sure? You in the car to grab it? It's lucky. Go ahead. Throw out in the car. Go ahead. Throw out.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 43.
Mm-hmm. I
And
appreciate it.
if thy hand offend thee,
This microphone's good up here. That's where you want it. Go ahead. Say it again.
and if thy hand offend thee, cut it off.
Oh, this is an important Hebrew Academy UPK precept. If thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. Go ahead.
It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell.
What is it? What's the trooper's question again?
Christians try and say this is hell in the Bible.
This is hell? What? I don't understand what he means. What's hell? What is he saying? I don't get it. Okay, and let me give it to you for time's sake. Hell is here on earth. Heaven is here on earth. Heaven and hell are both two conditions. Both of them take place on earth. That's in Ecclesiastes, the 9th and the 10th chapter. I saw under the sun the place of judgment, and wickedness was there. I also saw under the sun the place of righteousness, and wickedness was there. The place of righteousness is where there will be evil. The place of judgment is where there will be righteousness. Everything happens here under the sun on earth. You're going to have to make this world a better place instead of dreaming of leaving this world. There is no leaving this world. Either you'll be here a sinner in hell, or you'll be here as the righteous in heaven, but you're going to have to be here. Everyone understands. And that goes for you oppressors out there that think you can go to Mars and go to the moon and go leave the earth after you destroy the water and destroy the air, and you go escape with Jeff Bezos into Mars. You're going to be found there, and you'll be brought right back down to earth. Everyone understands. Is that enough for the brother or not? I don't know what are they saying? The precept you might need is fear not him that shall destroy the body. That's what you need, all right? To cut Christians with. Fear not them that shall destroy the body. Someone can read that if they would like. Officer in the back.
I think it's verse at the end where it say, these 2 feet shall be cast in the hell of fire that shall never be quenched.
Yeah, you mean your eye and your hand will be cast into hell. Is that what? If that's what they're talking about, then I don't get the point. It seems like they're trying to say that your eye and your. First of all, let me just help you. I'm short with my time as always. This is a metaphor. All right. None of these things are literal. Do not cut out your dumbass eye. Don't do that. Do not cut off your hand, schizophrenics out there listening, because this is not literal. Everyone gets me, right? Now, you say that now, you call me at 3 a.m. after Jesus told you to cut your hand off. Don't do that. This is a metaphor. The precept is about cutting off things in your life that you believe are important, but if these things and or people stay in your life, it's going to cost you your life. Let me give you some examples. Your ex-girlfriend, who you love so much, and you want to be with her, but she doesn't want to be with you. But you call her and you call her and you call her and you call her because you want to be with her because she's your baby's mama. And you have children with her and you want to be with your kids so much. And then before you know it, what do? It comes on the news every day. Who knows? Sisters, you got to know. No one knows about this? That woman that a brother can't give up, even though she's with another man, she's moved on, but those are his kids. And so he can't leave her alone, even though she said, stop calling me. What happens? You better know before you get your future ex, sis. Say again? He unalives her. That's what he does. He unalives you and then goes live on TikTok as he's unaliving you. She playing with my kids. Those is my kids. Now you are going to be in hell because you couldn't cut that woman off. Sometimes you must cut off your relationship with your children. You have to do it because the pain of trying to stay in their life is going to cost you your life. Sometimes you have to cut off your grandma, people that are dear to you. Sometimes you have to cut off a career pursuit that you're so in love with and you have to do. Why do you think people in Hollywood are performing oral sex on men to become famous? Who knows why? Because they truly need to be famous. They want to be actors. They want to be comedians. It's dear to them. It's more important than their hands or their eyes. Sometimes you got to just say, listen, I will work down at the factory rather than be a comedian because I'm not doing those things that I have to do to succeed in this field. It's better that one member perish and the body perish not. You have to cut off certain things to save your life. Everyone understands. That's the point. All right. The metaphor is using cutting off things that you need, like your hands and your eyes. Well, listen, in reality, you cut off that bitch or your excuse my language. You cut off your grandmom, your family. Mainly, that's what Christ is speaking about anyway, is cutting off your family. Because those were his enemies, the families of the people that he was teaching. Everyone gets it, all right? That's why he said, I came not to bring peace, but a sword. For I came to set a man at variance against his own household, the mother against the daughter-in-law against the mother, the father against the son, yea, and a man's enemies shall be them of his own household. Christ was talking about cutting off your family. That's the point. All right? Everybody gets the point. I got to go. All right? This is not talking about hell. Give them the precept to prove that. I quoted it earlier. Fear not them that can kill the body. Rather fear them. Say again. That's it. Luke 12:4, please.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body.
This is what you need, trooper, to cut Christians, all right? Fear not them which can kill the body. Go ahead.
And after that, they have no more that they can do.
But after that, they can't do anything else. All these people can do out here is unalive you. But that's small to a man that is no coward. That's nothing because they can do nothing else after that. Continue.
Verse 5. But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear him which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell.
Keep going. But you should fear him who hath power to cast into hell after he has killed. Keep going.
Yea, I say unto you, fear him.
You're not giving me the whole thing. Give me the one that can put body and soul into hell. This is a precept for it, but this is not the one I was referring to. Is that right, Malak? Matthew 10:28. Meaning after the Lord kills you, then he can put you in hell. In the back, Captain. You need him. Go ahead. After the Lord kills you, then he can put you in hell. That hell is not talking about going to another place. You're going to be in hell on the earth. The Most High will unalive you and bring you right back here. And now you're born to another terrible family and having another terrible life. When what you can do is serve God. And then when people unalive you, you'll come back to a family in the truth who is kind and righteous and courageous. And now you'll know that heaven is on earth. Everyone understands. Go ahead.
This is from Matthew 10 verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
Fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Go ahead.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Read that part again. Able to do what?
Oh God, but are not
able to
destroy both soul and body in hell.
Able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Now, according to Christians, does your body go into hell? No, your body is here on earth in a coffin, and your soul goes to hell. But the Most High said right here that your body and soul go to hell. Because hell is here on earth, where your feet are in the projects and your soul is in bondage. Where your feet are in prison, your body behind bars, and your mind is trapped. Hell is on earth. All right, that's all I can do for you. Next.
Young man Simeon says, Slaughter, how does one correct the spirit to not lust after a woman?
Okay, give me the precept. The Bible says it is better to marry than to burn. There is only one cure for wanting a sex with a woman, and that is sex with a woman. That's the only thing that cures that, young man. Nothing else cures that. Precept. Give it to me first before I move on. It's in the New Testament, warriors.
He said, better than the man married than to burn.
That's what it said. That's what I'm looking for. See, because of the Christian church, a lot of you out there, you're trying to fight the desire to be with a woman. Many of you, of course, feminize yourself because you're trying to, really not want women so bad until you become half a LGBT man. I'm fine, warrior. You don't want to do that. Did everyone see Ricky Smiley's? It was so informative. Do you know who Ricky Smiley is? Ricky Smiley did a video about how Cat Williams talked bad about him, right? And he started crying. Did you see that? Oh, it was informative about the Christianity, brother. It taught me so much once again. He's on there and he's on there doing something like trying to open a tea bag or a pen. And he just leaves off camera and cries hard like his best friend died. I mean, he cried. And then he was talking to some oppressor, and he was fighting back tears, saying how my kids are going to see that. And it hurt my kids to see it. And I said, brothers have to stop going to church. It's turning you into an emotional wreck because you're trying to fight all kinds of urges, but you don't know how to properly fight them. So in essence, because you're fighting masculinity, you enforce femininity because you're trying to not be a man who wants sex and who wants to fight. So I will just get more into Jesus and loving and singing, and you turn into half a LGBT. Someone put the Ricky Smiley thing up here. Ricky Smiley is in church about as much as you breathe air and drink water. He's sitting up in that church. Stop going to church. Give me the precept I asked for first.
Oh God, it's a book of First Corinthians.
Tell me if you can hear him, Akim, all right? Come on.
It's the book of First Corinthians, chapter 7, and verse 8. I say therefore to the unmarried, it is good for them to abide, even as I.
Paul didn't have a woman. So he's talking to the unmarried people and to the widows, the people who have lost their husbands, because it's better that you don't get someone. It's better that you just not have sex. It's a simpler life. All right? You don't have to all the fighting and the arguing and the pain of allowing someone into your life to love. You don't have to go through that unless you need sex. You could just be like Anna and devote yourself to God. It's a much simpler and peaceful lifestyle. Everyone understands. Jesus Christ also did not have a woman. He devoted himself to God, right? That's the highest calling, is to be with no one. That's the highest calling. Men like Jesus Christ, men like Paul had that ability. Keep going.
God, even as I, verse 9, but if they could not contain.
But what?
But if they cannot contain.
But if you can't contain, if you just are like, I have got to have some tail, there's just nothing that can be done about this. That is not who I am to go without sex. If you're a woman and you have to have sex with a man, if you're like, I just have to have it, that's that. If you cannot contain yourself, keep going.
God, let them marry.
Do what?
Let them marry.
That's what you do with that urge. You get a woman. You go out and you have sex with a woman. Problem solved. Done. Keep going.
God, for it is better to marry than to burn.
For it is better to marry than to burn. What is the burning he's talking about? It's an old English phrase. To burn with desire. To burn with passion, which is the lust that he's talking about. Christians call it lust because, of course, it's so strong and you really need a woman. You need the comfort of a woman, the companionship, the sex of a woman. The only way to fix it is to marry, and it's a good fix. It's a wonderful, wonderful fix, all right? Now, but here's the conundrum. Here's the problem. If you marry the wrong woman, you would rather just take your penis and slam it in a door than to do that. You'll wish you tied it in a knot and locked it in a box before you go and have sex with the wrong woman. She's going to give you HIV. She's going to ruin your life. She's going to, if you got a car you love, forget that. I wish I could have found the Lord years ago. It got me through a few trucks that these women out here destroyed of mine. You come outside, all the windows gone out your truck, my lord. All of them. You walk out the door, you go. Well, that's what happens, young man. Go ahead.
I was riding through the neighborhood with my slavery. There was all these nice cars, and one of the nice cars just had AIDS all over it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was how we was living, brother. You know, and here's the worst part about it. Then you come into the truth and you know that I had that coming. You understand? She took those windows out. She had a right. She had a right to get those windows, brother. All right? I didn't know what I know now. But now I know that getting the wrong woman or getting in a relationship that is not, you're not in it for love, or you're not in it to keep a commitment, but you're in it for lust, that relationship is going to go poorly. All right. So what do? You need to have sex to stop the lust, to stop the burning. But if you choose wrong, then it's worse than if you never had a woman. Who knows the answer? This is wisdom, brother. And it's how you do everything else in life. It's how everything else in life is done. Come on.
So, like, sir, are you questioning the burning?
I'm just saying, what do you do? You're a young brother like this young brother. He needs sex. His question is, how does he stop the need? The only way to stop the need is to have sex, right? Is to get a woman. But if you choose the wrong woman, it's worse than death. So what do you do? That's all. That's all. Come on, Malak. How do you do that? Choose the right woman. What does that mean? She had big breasts. She had a big butt. She works on my job, right? She said hi to me. I asked her what her name was. She told me. I called her and she answered. She is the right woman. She's single. What does that mean? The right woman, sister. Okay, you getting out. You getting on it? You coming around the corner to it. But okay, this might be a better way to answer this question, or to ask the question. What do you do when you want anything else that is very important, and you don't know how to do that thing now? Let me ask this young brother right here behind you, Marah. What's his name right here? This brother. What's your name, Mark? Say again? Kenyon? What do you want to be when you grow up? What career do you want? Say again? I can't hear him. Sports. What kind of sport? Boxing and basketball. You want to do that professionally. You want to earn money. Can you do that right now? Can you earn money boxing and playing basketball right now? So, but you want to do that in the future. So what are you doing now then to achieve it? You're trying to learn how to play basketball, right? You're taking boxing classes one day, or you're studying boxing, or you're studying basketball. You know you're not there yet to be in the NBA or to be a professional boxer, but you know that if you set your mind to doing it, develop skills, get a little older, get a little stronger, eventually you will have the career of your dreams. Am I correct about that? That's how you get a woman. You're not there now to get the right woman. And right now you want one very bad, much like the young brother probably wants to be in the NBA today, right now. But he knows he's not there yet. So what does he do in the meantime? He educates himself. He trains, knowing that one day he could make it to the NBA. Well, you want a wife. You want to have sex right now, but you don't want to be in child support court. You don't want to be in jail. You don't want her to have sex with your best friend. So what do I do now? I learn about women. I come to class. I ask questions. I develop an education in women. I train. I become the kind of man that women want. That's enough. That'll take enough time for you to do. There is a kind of man that the best kind of women want. There's a kind of man that an evil bitch does not want. You have to train to become irresistible to a righteous woman. Where righteous woman will just see you and go, oh my God, what I got to have this man. Let me show you who's done it. Turn around to Captain Akkad right here. Women love Captain Akkad. Put Captain Akkad on the camera. He know what he's doing. Everybody laughing because you know it's true. Women love Captain Akkad. They love him. I get so many calls about Captain Akkad. You know what Captain Akkad says? Oh, no, sir, I'm sorry. I won't be able to do that. Salakia, what do you know? The sister is wonderful. But he turns down so many women. And he ain't the only brother. There's tons of brothers like that in here, where everybody is calling, and they always call about the same brothers. And the only thing they have in common is that this brother embodies the irresistible spirit that is in the UPK, and women love it. They're very attracted to it. Take your time and develop that. You work on all those things and building up being the kind of man that a righteous woman must have. At the same time, what are you learning? You're learning how to pick the right one. You're learning things about yourself that you have to change and fix. But before you know it, you're going to make it to the NBA. I pray you understand. Next question.
This is from Yahweh Salakia. Is masturbating on a woman without intercourse considered sex?
Listen, this is a family show here. I know I might say a profanity word, or profane word sometimes now. But let's not be ridiculous. You ask that question in private to your camp leader. All right? Next.
This is from McCum. Officer McCum checking in from Houston, Ottawa, Sloppy, sir. If I may, with grace and mercy, what tribe is Gullah Geechee called in?
See, this brother knows how to ask a question. The water. He said it right. He had some manners. A lot of y'all got no goddamn manners. He had some manners. I'm going to answer his question. What was his question again? The water warrior.
If I may, with grace and mercy, what tribe is Gullah Geechee called in?
Gullah Geechee down there in South Carolina, they're from the tribe of Judah. That's who the Geechees are in South Carolina. For those of you that don't know, that's a group of people in South Carolina. South Carolina is where the bulk of the slave trade started. You know, besides the original part that happened in the East Coast around Boston, it was about 20 slaves that came over with the Pilgrims and with the Puritans that came here. The free men of the North started from those 20 people, those 20 slaves, and they never were slaves. After a generation, they got freed, the Puritans freed them, and the water warrior. No, I'm fine, warrior. And you know, they were the free men of the North, and the North had no slavery for a period of time, for years, right? But in South Carolina, that was where the bulk of the slave trade started. And this is a group of people that stayed around the same area, didn't mix with other slaves, developed the language that they had back then. It is called the Gullah language, which is like a real broken English, like a super broken English down there. And those are the brothers and sisters from the tribe of Judah. All right. Next.
This is from Clarkza, Bunny Howard, Sloppy, sir. Can I get a breakdown on Hosea chapter 1 and verse 3?
Go ahead.
Concerning the whore who was reunited with Hosea?
No problem.
Is that scripture allowing a brother to take back a bread after committing adultery?
No, it is not, Ak. It is not allowing you to take, and even the word allow is ridiculous. Let me give you the premise. I just talked about cutting people off, right? Here's the problem here. If your woman goes and cheats on you with another man, right? I mean, and this is hard to get, right? Because of selfishness. Let's say your woman, she goes and cheats on you with another man, right? And then, of course, this brother has done what? He's taken your wife, hasn't he? Your woman. But then now she says, listen, I want to be back to you. And you think I should take her back because she is, come on, who can answer? Sis, you can answer. Sorry is where it starts. She's sorry. She's your woman. This is your wife. This has your kids. The premise itself is flawed because she's not your woman. She's his. What about him? That's his woman now. So really the question is, can I take his wife? That's your question. Sir, this is my ex-girl. Am I allowed to take another man's wife because she's my ex? Now the question, you're framing it in the reality of what you're doing. When you take back your ex-wife, you are committing adultery with another man's woman. That is his woman. He loves her. He calls her every night. He gave her his body and talks to her. He needs her money now and to live in her house and to stay over there because he got no place to stay. Now he's staying in that house. Can you steal another man's woman because she used to be yours? What about her ex she had before you? Can he come back and claim her and say, nigga, you leave because she was with me before she was with you? That sounds crazy, right? Well, then you can't take her back either. If a woman cheats on you, that marriage is over. It's done. You're not married to her anymore. She has a new husband, and he must be respected because you wanted somebody to respect you, didn't you? Everyone understands, right? So what is this precept talking about then? What I just said is in the Bible, okay, as everything is, which I should have to prove by now. But I always can. I always can. What is this precept speaking about? Read it.
Oh God, this book was Hosea, chapter 1, verse 2. The beginning of the word of the Lord Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, go, take unto thee a wife of whoredom and children of whoredom.
Go, Isaiah. You go marry a wife that's a whore. And go take children of that whore. You go do that, Isaiah. Go ahead.
For the land hath committed great whoredom.
Why?
For the land hath committed great whoredom.
For the land has committed great whoredom. What does the land mean? Does that mean the grass was a whore? The trees were a whore? Come on. The people have all become whores in worshiping other gods. So you go, Nakar. You go marry a wife that's a whore and then have kids with that whore. You go do it. Keep going.
Departed from the Lord.
The whole land has departed from the Lord, meaning all of the people have departed from the Most High. They don't keep his laws anymore, his commandments anymore. They left me. Now they've decided to be Muslims and Christians and Buddhists and Democrats and Republicans. So you go out and you marry a slut that will leave you and have kids with her. Continue.
Verse 3. So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim.
So he went and got this woman. Keep going.
Which conceived and bare him a son.
And that this woman conceived and bare him a son. Go ahead.
That was basically
I damn near gave you the point just now. I damn near gave you the point. Come on. It's right. If you want, you can read it.
Okay, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu.
So then he went to go name these children different things that have biblical meanings and references, because that's the point. I'm trying not to give you the answer. What's the point? Well, first of all, if the point is for you to go out and take your wife back, then does that mean that the nation of Israel should become whores and rebel against God? Because that's exactly what it said above it. Go marry a whore because the whole nation has fallen to whoredom. So does that mean that all of the Israelites should worship false gods? Of course not. It doesn't mean that. This is a point, Akim, that the Most High is trying to make that I have to move on for time's sake. The Most High is trying to make you understand what you're putting him through by putting you through something so that you can understand it. What thing will you understand if you go marry a whore? Malak? Make it simpler. If you go out and marry a whore and have children with that whore, what will you understand? The car. Bring me right home. There's a thing you will know. Come on. You're not bringing me right to the door. I got to give it to you. If you go out and marry a whore, you're going to know never marry a whore. That's what you'll know. And at that moment, you will realize what you have put the Most High God through. You've done this to him. You go marry a slut and have kids with her. What does this woman do? Betray you every day. The kids, you're not even sure if they're yours at all. Then you'll go, this is what we have done to God. We've done this to him. This is what we've done to him. We betrayed him. We've sacrificed our bond of loyalty that we owe to him, but we give it to other gods. How do I know? Because I married a whore. I did this. And any brother who has done this, and that's a whole lot of us, if you could relate it to yourself, then you understand that you can never be a whore. You can never do this because this is what our nation has done to God. That's the point. The point is not saying go marry a whore. Isaiah is trying to tell you about his life, what he did in his life, and how he knows why these things happen. Raise your hand. You married a terrible woman in the world. Raise your hand. Ooh, wee. Now, if you could remember that, and you relate that to how you should treat God, Right? If you go, man, that woman did this to me. She cheated on me. She betrayed me. If that now, I'm trying not to give you the answer. Raise your hand if knowing what that woman did to you makes you understand God better. You know, now you understand the Lord better. Now I have another question. Who had you marry that woman? Not as easy to answer, right? Malak? Who you were in the world? Can anyone say an evil has happened in the city and that the Most High have not done it? Who had you marry this love you in the world that ruined your life, and then when you came into the truth, you said, "I know why I married her. That's why I went through that. That's why that happened." I'll ask you again. Who had you marry that whore? Nakar, the Most High. He did that to you. Who put you in jail? The Most High. Who had you marry? Who had you be born in that family with those uncles who hurt you? The Most High. He did all that. He did that for today, knowing that one day you would be in the truth and you would go, "That's why my mother was like that. Now I know I better never be like her. That's why my uncle was like that. Now I know I can never be like my uncle." That's the point. All of the pain and tragedy of your past was tragedy God caused for your education later. That's what Isaiah is talking about right here. That's all I can do for you. Next.
This is from Bashar Bun Howard.
Let me get Malak first. Go ahead.
So would a precept be verse 8, like wives, submit to your husbands as unto the Lord?
A precept for what?
As far as when a man marries a whore, how the Most High.
Well, Jeremiah 3 says, "What man would go back to a whore after she abhorred on him?" It's something. It's really something that would never happen. Okay, but it is happening, and it's a ridiculous thing to happen. All right, for you to be some man's cuckold, the thought of it could only happen if you were spread femininity. Which one do you be another man's cuckold? Some man out there seeing your wife naked, had all the body parts, all in his mouth, and his and hers. What do you go do? Take her back and hug her? Go on Instagram with new pictures y'all took going out to dinner at a kid's party? So he can look at you and laugh and laugh. You never been in the world before? You know what other men think of men that go back to a woman that cheated on him? Do you even know? Sometimes I think you don't know. I think you don't know how men look at you. How they look at you like, "Look at this nigga hugging her and kissing her." You know where that mouth has been. You know what? Go be with your baby's mama. I can't do this all day. Go be with her. Enjoy. Enjoy. Just go be with your ex. Love her. Lord knows you can't find anybody else. No women want you. So go and be with some slut who is holding you 10 times. I'm sure she won't do it again because you can't get anybody else. So yes, go be with her. After you do it, then just come tell all of us what happened so we can all learn never to do it. All right? Then you'll be like Isaiah. Okay, good to go. Next.
It's crazy how you say it because when my son was younger, they French always said in the house like, "Oh yes, your mother was on the bed." I'm like, "Who?" And I was like, "Did you look one day?" He was like, "Yeah, I ate some yams." I said, "Oh, yams? I was
Yams.
What is yams?" They were like, "No, not that, not that." I'm like, "What y'all talking about?" He was like, my oldest son was like, "Don't do it."
Don't tell her. Yeah.
I was like, "What y'all talking about?" He was like, "Oh, wow, you know, my girl." I said, "So you know every time you did her, how many did you suck?"
Yeesh. She's telling the truth here.
It's like her, and she was like, "No, I was just like, you know, every time you did that, how many cookies you ate?"
Shalom.
He was like, "What?" I was like, "All right." Just reality. I said, "All right, we're going on a field trip." I took him to the worst clinic ever. Down Lombard. We got all the pictures of this. My son's right now have 2 girlfriends. That's it. And, you know, one of my sons like, "I ain't kissing her." I remember that picture. I said, "Why?" Because they dirty girls. Ain't nobody take flower. Ain't nobody say that. He was just in reality, the way you talk to me about it, they ain't
I hear that.
And I was like, somebody.
At least they listen. Give her a hand. She listen. You trying to educate those young men. You trying the best you can. It's important because that's going to ruin their lives. It's just a terrible thing to take back your ex. And let me tell you something else. If you're in the UPK, I got to get off this topic, but let me help you with your other rib. In the UPK, we believe in having more than one woman. If your other wife finds out that you took back a wife who cheated on you, she is never going to look at you like you are one West ever again. If she finds out you are still talking to your ex and your ex has been with other men, your wife is never going to respect you again. Never. So you can rock all the One West gear and the jackets and the hair around her if you want, but she's going to know you went back with your ex after she cheated on you. What do you want me to do? Make you sandwiches and to obey you and call you Lord? Whatever. That's all I can do for you. I got to go. All right. You ain't going to listen no how. Go be with your ex up. Go ahead.
If I could, sir, just for clarity on the scripture, when it says, go and take unto thee a wife of whoredoms, is it like a lesson? Like,
yeah, it's not said like this. This is how people read it. Go and take unto thee a wife of whoredom. It's like this. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know, I was doing it just now in the car. That was my point. I was just doing it in class. I just did it just now. Go ahead and go be with your ex. Did you hear that? That's why I did that. I said it like that because that's how the Most High God is saying it. Go and be with your ex. Did y'all hear me say it? I just said it. Go be with your ex. Go do it. Go marry that whore. You want to be with her? Go ahead and do it. That's how Isaiah was told to do it. You understand, right? Now, if you understand context, when I said go be with your ex, what am I actually saying? Come on. You're supposed to be black. You're supposed to be Latino. You're supposed to understand how we talk. So when I said, you want it, nigga, go ahead and get it then. Go ahead and do it. Go be with that hoe. Go be with that hoe. When I say that, what am I actually saying, mama? I'm saying don't do it. Do you understand that? That's what I'm actually saying. Some of you think so white, you can't understand context anymore. When somebody black says, go ahead and do it then, they mean don't do it. I gotta go. Next.
Brother says, Salakia, I don't want, what scriptures can I use for people who believe ghosts or spirits are in their house?
Okay. You believe, you're all scary, you watch a lot of those movies. Let me give you something. You can do the one with the man who had the demons and the demons went into the pigs. He jumped into the water. You can do the cat who dwelt in the graveyard and he would tear at his flesh. I would probably go there. Let me help you with something. There's no such thing as ghosts, baby girl, young man. Ghosts are not real. Let me also help you with something. There is no such thing as a witch that sits on your chest. You are crazy. That doesn't exist. It's called sleep paralysis. Alexa, what is a witch sitting on your chest? Alexa, have you ever heard of a witch sitting on someone's chest?
The Witch is a 2015 drama film.
Alexa, stop. How can I ask her this question? What do they call it? Some name for it. Y'all believe in that? What do y'all, when the witch is on you, right? When the witch is sitting on you, right? What is she called? Go ahead, sis. Salakia, I see. Alexa, what is it called when a witch is on your back?
Witches riding your back is a term used to describe sleep paralysis. It is a sleep disorder that can cause racing heartbeat, breathlessness, or coughing. It is believed to be associated with spiritual beliefs and is thought to be caused by a witch sitting on the chest trying to take the soul.
Yeah, see, I would have you be educated and not such an ignorant bastard your entire life. The problem is you're ignorant. That's all. And a lot of you love ignorance. You love superstition, don't you? You got crystals at your house, don't you? You got to turn. Your house stinks of sage. Your house smells like a sage dinner. You believe that sage is warding off evil spirits. You're kissing under the mistletoe, I know, at Christmas. That's another witchcrafty thing. Sleep paralysis, baby girl, is this. When everyone, you ever have a dream that you're running? Raise your hand if you had a dream that you're running. Raise your hand if you had a dream that you're flying. Raise your hand if you had a dream that you're driving in the car going to your friend's house. Right. Why don't you actually get up and run? Why don't you actually get up and drive the car? Who knows? Sleep paralysis. There's a chemical released in your brain, from your brain, that paralyzes your body, or else you would actually get up and walk around the house, right? People that sleepwalk are not getting enough of a release of this chemical. So they actually get up and walk outside because they're not getting enough of this chemical. But normal people, your body is paralyzed every night, which is why you do not get up and walk around. It's called, even though your brain is walking around, it's called sleep paralysis. There's a time right before you get up when the chemical is beginning to wear off. And at that moment, your brain is awake, but your body still can't move. So you feel like, I'm trying to get up, but I can't. Oh, that's that bruja. That's that witch. The witch is on my back, just like my mama said. In the name of Jesus, get this witch off my back, and the Jesus, Lord, and Jesus and the Holy Ghost. You're an ignorant idiot, and that's why white people rule over you to the extent they do. You better go to school. You better get something in that dumbass head of yours because you're ignorant. After you wait a little while, before you know it, you're able to get up because the chemical is off your body, and you can get up out of bed and go ahead. It doesn't have to be a witch on you. Your grandmama told you, your mama told you. That was acceptable before the internet and books and libraries. By now, you just choose ignorance, all right? There's no such thing as ghosts. Let me ask you a question. How much does that witch weigh? She's a ghost now. How much does a witch weigh? No one wants to answer? You hear somebody knocking around in your room. Knock, knock. What's that? That's a ghost. That's a ghost. Does the ghost have hands? The brother asked earlier about these hands that go into hell, right? Does a ghost have hands? The young brother said, no, you're right. No. Does the ghost have feet? No. A ghost does not have a body at all. So how would the weight of a ghost keep you down when they're a spirit? See, you're ignorant. And Commander General Yahanna doesn't promote ignorance. That's what all these books are about. That's why we have a school and not a church, because we promote education in here. All right, there's 1,000 precepts. I already gave them to you. I got to get ready to get the hell out of here. Got about 10 more minutes. Who has anything else? You want to believe in ghosts? Go ahead. Go ahead and do it. Listen, just get that witch up off you every morning and get your black ass to work, or you're getting fired. Just know, when you walk into work and say, I'm sorry, it was a witch on me till about 9:15 this morning. I'm fired. What you mean I'm fired? What? Next.
Someone asked, Salakia, so where do we go after we die?
Well, this is where we go, sweetie. After we die, your body is eaten by worms, and your soul, which can never die, receives a new body. And that new body comes back into a new baby on your father's side, of the same race, the same nation, in the same condition that your people were in. Reincarnation is where you go to after you die. You go before the Most High first to receive your judgment for the life that you lived, and then you come back into the earth to live out that judgment. Jesus Christ said this. Jesus Christ said, ye that are with me now shall be with me in the regeneration, sitting on 12 thrones, ruling over the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. He told this to Peter, and he told them they would be with him in the regeneration. Everyone comes back, but you're coming back here. You're coming back here. Everyone understands. Next.
All right. Brother asked, can I get Shalom Yahweh, can I get a brief breakdown on the book of Enoch and why people say it exists?
All right, the book of Enoch exists because white people say it does. In the beginning of the book of Enoch, if you read the beginning, before you go into the actual body of the book, it says this is not actually the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch is mentioned in the Bible, like the book of Jasper is mentioned in the Bible. Later on, in about the 1970s, different oppressors wrote a book and just named it the book of Enoch, so that people could worship it and act as if it is the actual book of Enoch that has never been kept and was not kept for history, was not kept in the Dead Sea Scrolls, was not kept in the Qumran caves, is gone, because the Most High's will is that it would be gone. Some white man just wrote things down and named it the book of Enoch. It's the same as the Book of Mormon, which is nothing. The Apocalypse of Mary, which is nothing, which is a novel, a fiction novel written by some white man that lived in the 70s probably, all right, or late 60s or 80s in some cases. And that's all it is, it's nothing else, all right? The Bible says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None shall want her mate. There is no other book you can join with the Bible. The Apocrypha is in the Bible, in the Qumran caves, in the Dead Sea Scrolls. With it, always has been with it, until the Catholic Church removed it. Right? It was in the ancient scrolls. Next.
Salaki, sir. It seems like a sister asked, if we can't afford tithes and the Passover fee, which should we pay?
Which should you, what should you do? Should you not be a homosexual or not eat pork? Which one should you do? Let her answer the question. The young brother got his hand up. I know you know, Warrior. That's a smart young man right there. He's smart. What's his name? Elijah. Give Elijah a hand. He's very smart. He has a light in his face because he's bright. Well done, Elijah. Good job, brother. All right. Let the sister answer the question. Any other questions?
Sir. 1 second. All right. A brother had a question. If you can get a general breakdown on Ezekiel chapter 28, verses 13 and 14. He asked, is this talking about Adam or Israel? Christian says it's Satan.
All right.
All right. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. Thy sardis, topaz, and diamond, beryl, the onyx, and jasper, sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of thy.
This is what's the question again?
Is this talking about Adam or Israel?
This is talking about Israel. Next.
Right. I think we pretty good on the.
Any questions in the room? Solid. That's all the questions. Let me do mine. Good. You got it.
Sister Lockett, sir, do you have to continue to perform marital activities once married? For example, you need a man to get into the kingdom, but your other one has multiple women and you no longer want to have intercourse with them. However, that would not change how you feel about him. Just don't want to be performing those activities anymore.
I told you.
How does that work?
I'll explain. Give me 1 second, all right?
Okay.
Let me get me the Los Anuncios together. The water to the Yashikar. Yashikar gave me a Spanish class on TikTok this week. Give him a hand. I want to see more of you Judites learn Spanish. I want to see you learn this. I went out to California, brother, and the brothers out there in California, you embarrass me when you order Mexican food too. I'm embarrassed by it. Out in California, the brother said, "Yeah, can I get 2 tortillas and a carne asada?" I was embarrassed. Learn Spanish. And the Mexicans, y'all brothers are too polite. You don't correct the brother. Tell him he's wrong. Tell him he's wrong for saying tortilla. Tell him he's wrong for saying carne asada. Talk to him. We're going to learn Spanish in here. Everybody understands. All right, let me get it together 1 second. Carne asada. All right. Okay. All right. What's your question again, Salakia?
Okay, sir, it says, Salaki, sir, do you have to perform,
All right. Okay. Let me give you the scenario. This is a sister that has a husband in the truth. She's in the truth, of course, but she was raised in the world. All right. And it's very difficult when you come into the school to be born again. Right. Being born again is not magic. It's something you have to work at. So you get a Hebrew name, you love the truth, you love the school, you love the UPK One West, but you still have a behavior that is very similar to women in the world. So your husband, he has another woman now. So now you don't want to have sex with him anymore. A lot of you think once your husband gets another woman, you know what you're going to feel? You're going to say, I'm getting an itch on my vagina that I didn't have before. I'm getting my pH my balance is off now. It must be because of that woman out there. Right? That's in your mind. Do you understand? It's psychosomatic. You are psychosymptomatic. You're thinking about him with her. All of a sudden, your vagina feels wrong. Feels, your pH balance is off. Lord be with you. All right. So now he has another wife. So now, because of that, you don't want to have relations with him any longer. The sister is asking, is that okay to do? Yes, it is absolutely okay to do. This is what you do. This is in 1 Corinthians 7. You go to your husband and you ask him for a time of fasting and prayer so that you can get closer to the Most High. Your husband will decide whether or not he agrees, right? If he agrees, then you two can go a certain amount of time where you do not have physical relations. At the end of that time, you come back together again. That's in the Bible. Now, can I give you some fatherly advice, if I could, sweet baby girl? When your husband grants you that time, when he says yes, you are going to beg him to have sex with you. That's what's going to happen. Do not ask for your husband not to have sex with you, when in reality, you want to have sex with him. Don't kick him out if you want him to see you more. That's what women in the world do. I don't want to see you anymore. Why? Because you never come to see me. Hold up, slow down. I don't call you enough, so you don't want to talk to me. I don't come to see you enough, so you don't want to see me. So you're mad because I don't come to see you. So your solution is don't see you? Well, then why would you be mad? If you don't want to talk anyway, then aren't you happy? Because I don't call you. If you don't want to see me anyway, then aren't you happy because I don't come see you? You see how that's crazy? Raise your hand if you know. I know none of you know what in the hell I'm saying. I've spent 30 years talking to people who don't know what in the hell I'm talking about. Why can't I go get a hobby? Sometimes the weightlifting ain't enough. I need to go do something else with my life. Sister.
I was going to say the reason why they do that is because in their mind they can punish their husband.
Oh, wait a minute. So in their mind, they think they can flip it on them. So since sister, you was going to say the same thing. Psychosomatic. It's like a psychological. Yeah. Don't. There you go. Well, this is what you're going to find in here, sweetie. Your husband is going to stop calling you. Okay, and he's just going to go have sex more with his other wife, and she's going to be getting it. Oof. Yikes. Listen, she going to get a double portion now. If I was you, I wouldn't ask for that because you just might get what you asked for. But can you ask for it? Sure. Go ahead and get a time when you don't have sex with your husband. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead, ask him. You have permission not to have sex with your husband. Go ahead and do it. All right? Anything else? Go ahead.
Sister asked, she said, Salaki, sir, if a sister goes to Passover but ends up starting her cycle unexpectedly, is it okay for that sister to go stay in the hotel
Yeah, she can. She just stays. She can't come into the Passover because the people are there. She has to stay away from the body of people, but she can just be in a hotel like she would be in the house. As long as she stays away from touching distance from people, she's fine. A woman's time of uncleanliness is a quarantine. So just think like that. The things you did during the COVID-19 virus, 6 feet apart. There's a reason our oppressor said 6 feet apart. Why? Because that's the in general distance of touching. The in general distance of how a sneeze can travel when someone sneezes. So they're trying to just say, stay far enough away so you're not putting your dirty hands on people or sneezing on people. The law of uncleanliness is the same thing. It's a quarantine that orders you to stay away from people. That's it. All right, good to go? Is that it? All right, with that, who's the guard? The car, I'm giving it to you. With that, pass the class over to the police officer in the car. Oh, I got to do my Los Anuncios this first. Oh, also, too, before I forget, this Thursday, I will give the Cat Williams breakdown in Harlem. If you need a breakdown on Cat Williams, you're going to get it this Thursday in Harlem. Shalom.
Clap it up. The I.S.U.P.K security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West on the Fishery Hall, New York. Welcome to brother or sister, a new brother or sister that comes to the school. They are all living for 6 months. They're saluted only. They have the themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it at 6 months. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will support each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes is the commandment. The promise is look in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, 10. By Asherah, remain 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the teacher, preach fund, free will offer to the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like, upcoming whole convocation will be the feast of Purim. All right, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. So that'll be on a Thursday, the 22nd February, and then Friday on the 23rd of February. You can find us in the Bible in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20 to 31. All right, make sure y'all tap in with that. All walking, if you check the bulletin board, the hallway in the school. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, come to class wearing all black boot, shirt, pants, headband, and front with that are modern discipline. All right, men of Israel, we're going to give one quick courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh, Yahweh, sorry, we're going to turn to face the sisters, Amadu. All right. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one quick courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, Yahweh, class dismissed. Anybody got campaigns? You already know. Catch on top.